Hey friends, criminal defense attorney Marie Pasiga. I just wanted to give you a quick case update in case this might apply to you. So I've got a client who had a breath test in a DWI case, and it looks, on its face it kind of looks all right. It's a 0.12, so kind of not too high, not too low. And just looking through everything on its face anyway, without having an expert look at it, it all looks like it checks out. So anyway, I was reviewing the case, getting ready for the hearing on the matter, kind of a pretrial situation, and I noticed that some of the information, like the data that the officer was putting in here, didn't match up with what the videos were showing me. So for example, and I blacked out the client's information here, but it always gives information about the observation period, when that would have started, and then the timing on the tests. And then it talks about in the remarks things like there was a mouth check and who it was observed by, kind of which officer did that work. So these are important pieces of information in any case, but in this situation, after reviewing all of the evidence in the squad video and the body cam, I noticed that the timestamps just were not looking right. Something was off. So at the time that this officer was claiming to have done a mouth check and an observation, the body cam actually revealed that the officer was patting my client down and loading him into the back of the squad. So why is all of this important? Well, in any breath test case where the state wants to use evidence of your client's breath test result in a DUI, the procedure that must be followed by the officer administering that test has to include a period of observation where they are making sure there's nothing in the subject's mouth, so your client's mouth. And so they'll do a mouth check to make sure there's nothing there. And the officer needs to observe, see, smell, hear the client for a 15-minute period so that there's nothing introduced into the mouth, like vomiting, burping, or putting anything into the mouth for a 15-minute period prior to the testing sequence. And the reason, again, that's important is to make sure nothing's there's nothing interfering with the test, and there's no mouth alcohol present. At least it kind of minimizes that issue. So anyway, in this situation, again, at 3:19 a.m., the officer is claiming on the face of the documents to be doing a mouth check and doing the observation. The video was different, so it took kind of careful analysis on that to spot an issue. And so I kept digging, and what I did was I ended up ordering and kind of demanding the prosecutor produce kind of the timestamp records. It's called CAD, or kind of the notes of the actual officer call in this situation. So we did a supplemental discovery request, asked for additional information just to confirm or rule out that the officer had been kind of either fabricating, lying about what was done in the case, or maybe there was an issue with the timestamps, right? So in this case, after reviewing those additional records and doing that additional work, we did find out that, sure enough, the times all matched up. And in fact, this is a situation where the officer put in that he did an observation period, that 15 minutes, and then he did a mouth check to start it, but it never actually happened. And we only kind of put that together through digging and continuing to pursue that line of a potential issue for the client, and it really worked out. So I presented what I found to the prosecutor, who agreed that was a big problem for him in his case, and agreed to do kind of a sweetheart deal to get rid of the DUI in this situation for the client. So really, really good result. I'm happy to do that work and do the additional digging to try to get the best outcome for a client in this situation. It's an issue out there. I've never seen it, quite so obvious on the face of a test and some, video review, for example, here. But weird things happen in cases, and it just takes not rolling over if you see kind of a higher test and saying, hey, you got to plead guilty here, because oftentimes there's things that can be done, and someone may not be guilty of the crime they're charged with. So thanks for listening. Have a wonderful day, and talk to you soon.